This guy, Dennis Uspenski, hooked about 5 calls. Blatantly, these balls that he was calling out were 2 feet in, but there was yelling back and forth. He was, making kind of inappropriate slurs, as well as like threatening women, threatening, like really meet me in the parking lot if you want to fight. Basically just coming out and very like passive aggressively saying like pickleballers are soft. I'm going to be a top 10 player in the world, and just showed no remorse for his actions. And so the PPA did respond with a 90-day suspension.
He wasn't really acknowledging just how bad and vulgar his language was. And so I feel like 90 days is super soft.
So I have the new Project Boomstick. What do you think about it?
Gosh, I have really gravitated towards power paddles. I just want to say that. And coming from the era, trying the boomstick, you guys, I was shocked at the pure power.
Yeah, I really loved the boomstick. Obviously, great power, great spin, but I think where it's really underrated is how stable it is. And the stability, I think, is due to the MOI tuning system, which is these semi-permanent weighting clips on the edge guard. And so the paddle just feels so incredibly balanced that the sweet spot is quite enormous. So make sure, if you haven't already, head on over to selkirk.com to get your boomstick today.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Pickleball Connection podcast. I'm Danea.
And I'm Barrett.
We're stoked to be hanging out with you today. Today, we're going to be doing a CTN, which is a Cruise the News segment, kind of bringing you guys all the latest pickleball news, maybe a little goss. And so let's just roll right into it.
Yeah, real quick, actually, before we roll into it, Danea and I did just get back from a pickleball destination trip where we led a trip to Cancun, Mexico. And we are in the process of rolling out some more destination pickleball trips. So shameless plug, if you're interested in traveling with us or when some other coaches to do destination clinics, you could DM Danea or reach out on her socials, all things pickleball.
Really quick, though, it's not a shameless plug because it was so fun. If you guys haven't done like a destination pickleball resort, you really should. Even if you don't even do one of our trips or whatever, you should definitely go because they're so fun. And when you have organized clinics, it's a game changer. Like, I know people that have gone to these resorts and they're like, no one's there to play pickleball. So when you go with an organized group, it's so fun, especially if you have a really good clinic, which I feel like we put on great clinics. But if you have a good clinic and then you can hang out on the resort and meet other players, it's just a blast. And at least I remembered man, this is why I got into pickleball, meeting new people, people that were strangers become friends, and just playing pickleball with people from all over is just so fun. So it's not a shameless plug because it really was such a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great combination of clinics, but also organized open play, like you mentioned. And a lot of resorts are starting to roll out pickleball just because it's a lot more cost effective. It takes up a lot less space than tennis. And there's a lot lower barrier to entry. So a lot of resorts are starting to put in pickleball, and we're jumping on that with our friends to have organized group playing clinics at these destination resorts. So we'd love for you to join us, or like Danea said, whether it's with us or another organization, you should definitely, if you love pickleball and you love travel, it's kind of a no-brainer. So let's jump right into it today. We have a little drama to talk about.
I love a little drama.
At the latest tournament, there was some drama at the PPA Virginia Beach, as well as the latest PPA Challenger Series tournament. You probably have heard about this because it was kind of going off on socials. But there was this guy, Dennis Uspenski. I'm probably mispronouncing his last name. But there's a video circulating on the internet of how in a PPA Challenger, so this isn't even the main draw, this is the Challenger Series, this guy Dennis Uspenski hooked about 5 calls. Blatantly, these balls that he was calling out were
very
2 feet in, terrible calls back to back to back. And it wasn't just that he was hooking calls, but there was yelling back and forth. He was making kind of inappropriate slurs, as well as like saying threats, saying, threatening women, threatening, like
really
meet me in the parking lot if you want to fight. It was pretty appalling. And then this kind of caught a lot of the videos kind of went a little viral, and it wasn't just the fact that he was hooking calls and being like this on the court, but also he issued some public remarks and public responses that were pretty insane. Basically just coming out and very like passive aggressively saying like pickleballers are soft. I played tennis at Pepperdine. I'm going to be a top 10 player in the world. Like, watch out. Here I come. I'm bringing the fire, and just showed no remorse for his actions. And so the PPA did respond with a 90-day suspension, which Dennis then responded to, basically saying, I'll be back in 90 days. I'm coming back. I'm going to show you guys why I'm a top 10 player in the world. And again, this is a Challenger Series guy. And, obviously he played college tennis. Like, there are hundreds of people on the PPA tour who are former college tennis players. And we got players that played professional tennis at a really high level who, have had some success, but have seen that it's not easy to come over and just dominate the game. So, interestingly enough, this happened, and it kind of caused this ripple effect. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Did a lot of talk happening? Did the suspension was it justified, 90 days, or was it too short? I wanted to ask you, after kind of digesting it, what are your thoughts on the suspension time and kind of how all this went down?
For me personally, I think what was the most distasteful part of it, here's the deal. I just going through this life, I don't expect everybody to be perfect. My thing is, I don't expect you to be perfect, but I do expect if you make a mess that you're going to clean it up. That's my thing. If you make a mess, clean it up. Meaning if you make some mistakes, if you make some bad choices, we're human. We all do. Just go clean it up. I think what was maybe alarming to me was his apology, took no accountability for what he actually did. His apology was very weird. It didn't really feel like he was, one, even acknowledging that he was blatantly cheating, and two, he wasn't really acknowledging just how, I don't know, just how bad and vulgar his language was. And so to me, I was after that apology, quote unquote, I'm kind of I feel like 90 days is super soft. I just think of Andre Dascu, he got fined $50,000. You remember that?
Yeah, and was it a 6-month suspension? It was very long, longer than 90 days.
It was longer than 90 days. So I'm just and he, obviously when he addressed it, he didn't mean to do anything. That's kind of what his stance was. So I don't even know how that all shook out. But the point is, it's really weird, and it feels like a very soft punishment to me for somebody that took basically zero accountability for what they did, and kind of just came back I'm going to come back stronger. So
what do you think the suspension should have been for something like this?
I don't really know. I just feel like he needs to clean it up, And it was interesting. Did you watch Zayn's interview with him?
No, I didn't.
So Zayn did an interview with him, and that was also weird. I could not even personally get through it all because I was just so turned off by his mannerisms. But basically, he did admit to Zayn, I did cheat. But he also kind of backtracked it and was but I don't like that guy. That guy's a blank. And was kind of justifying why he was cheating. This guy's a jerk, so I'm going to cheat. It was just really weird. Very bizarre. Just an interesting person. I wouldn't want that person competing on my tour if I had a tour, but that's just me. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I've actually also heard kind of through the grapevine that, people that kind of posted videos and their unfiltered opinions about what happened, there was a lot of people that have been, responding in the DMs of these people that are speaking out about this, basically saying that this guy like does this. He lives in Boca.
Oh gosh.
And he does this at the local courts. He does it too. Like I heard
like not even tournament stakes.
Yeah, I heard someone say that like that he does this, like he did it to like a 15-year-old.
Oh my god.
He did it to like a girl, like he does this, and
I'm like, this guy needs to get fined at a tournament for this. Like to me, I'm like, that this deserves a fine.
His MO is also like trying to tell people he wants to fight them, like, and basically the same way he did it to this guy. He he apparently at his local courts he tells people like, let's go fight. That's like his thing. So
that's so weird.
Super interesting. Also like just the way he handled it, like you said, like I think maybe it would have been a little different had there been a more sincere apology. But yeah, I'm with you. Like there has to be a standard that's set, especially with the stage that pickleball's in, wanting to be a legitimized sport where we attract the right people and do what's best for the growth of the sport.
Well, and also too, like, even though it's just Challenger, these players are still collecting points and those are valuable. So if he's winning points and cheating so blatantly bad, like to me, I'm like, you're taking a spot unrightfully from other people. You're taking points away. So
here's the crazy thing. That it was like, I believe he lost in the first round of the Challenger series. So he's saying he's a top 10 player in the world. He lost in the first round of the Challenger series. And I believe this was maybe the first match in the back draw. So I don't know if he won this match, like if he ended up winning or he ended up losing. But this is like, you're claiming to be this like I'm coming for you. I'm a top 10 player in the world. And yet this is like, you can't win in the first round of the PPA Challenger series. So it's also just like interesting. Like you brought up Andre Daescu. Like obviously Andre Daescu is on this big stage. He's a top 5 player. And on the doubles side, it's just, I don't know, it's a very interesting situation that makes it kind of comical to me that we're here.
Last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm like ready to move on. It was funny because he was like, if anyone wants to really challenge me, come to Boca, no cameras.
Yeah, no cameras.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he said like, we'll play for your drip or something like something wild.
I couldn't breathe reading it. I was laughing so hard.
I can only think of one or two things. Either there's some things wrong with this guy mentally, or
we can't. No.
I don't know. Like psychologically,
it's a
right?
Bizarre. A little bizarre.
It's either that or
we're not diagnosing anything.
We're not doctors.
We're not doctors. We're not diagnosing anything.
Or maybe like, do you think there's a world where he just wants the attention? Like now people know who he is. They didn't know who he was before.
Look, the saying bad publicity is still good publicity. It's true. It's publicity. So I could maybe see that being a thing. I don't know. The whole thing's bizarre. I'm kind of over thinking about it.
All right. So let's just say last thing. Let's say you're playing in a tournament and the female version of Dennis Uspenski is on the other side of you and you guys are playing singles.
Okay.
And there's multiple hooks, like blatantly like 2 feet in. And like, how do you handle this in that situation? Like,
I would call a timeout. I would get a ref on the court. Obviously, that doesn't do much. I probably would set up my camera, just to have it as proof.
Yeah, it's interesting. And he was like really mad at the guy, threatening like a lawsuit. I think he was threatening a lawsuit against the guy who posted the videos.
Yeah.
Like, so interesting. But yeah, guys, let us know like, what do you guys think about the suspension? Let us know in the comments. Do you think it was justified, too short, too long?
Too soft, too hard? Yeah,
let us know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If you haven't, seen this video, we'll link. There's a post I think Dane Gingrich did on Facebook that we can try to link in the description of this video. Hey, have you heard of the new Play More app?
No, what is it?
Basically, the Play More app is like a stress-free scheduling app for pickleballers. So I don't know, we've struggled a lot in group text trying to organize play. You'll set it up and somebody will just like the text. And I'm like, does that actually mean you're coming or not?
Yeah, and it's like, you never know how many people you have. Like, what rating they are. It's kind of annoying.
It can kind of just be a nightmare to try to organize groups because group texts are just not fun. So basically the Play More app lets you send out invitations. You get an RSVP list. If somebody doesn't show, there's a wait list that will actually like put somebody right into.
No way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Dang, that's awesome. What's it called?
It's called the Play More app. So you should download it at the App Store, or you can go to getplaymore.com if you want to look at it online. But the next thing we wanted to talk about comes from the PPA Virginia Beach tournament this last weekend. And, there were some things happening on the courts, like not on championship court, but on the other courts that the pros are playing on, like grandstand. And apparently the courts at this venue were pretty close together. There wasn't fences in between them. And there was supposedly some balls that, were kind of rolling on people's courts during the game, causing lots of stoppages, which we have found like that can be really annoying, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if you're in the rally, especially like you said, you're playing for points. In specific example, there was, I believe, a women's singles match in the round of 16. It was Lea Jansen versus Samantha Parker. The point was pretty much over. Lea's at the net, hits a drop volley winner, goes untouched, but like right as she's hitting it, or maybe even like right after she hit it, Samantha waves because there's a ball that's like way in the distance, like behind Lea, like against the wall. Like it's not on the court, it's just like against the wall. But Samantha sees it, so she calls it. And the ref kind of like sides with Samantha Parker, saying like, yes, like, sorry, if there's a ball, we have to replay it. For one, I wanted to ask you, like, is this the ref's job, the ref's like responsibility to like see this, like put their foot down and make sure this doesn't happen? Or how do you handle if there's balls, even like tournaments, rec play, like that roll on the court in the middle of a point or a match? Like, even if, or maybe like it doesn't affect the play at all, but maybe you just see it like off in the distance. Like, is there a line there?
First off, I think what I'm going to say is, as far as a professional tour, this is 1,000% on them. It's 1,000% on them. They should not be playing on venues like that. And if so, then they need to put dividers up, those little cardboard dividers, because that's crazy. Like, you and I have played amateur tournaments that are like that. They're just right next to each other. I remember we were playing in Kansas City maybe like 2 years ago. This was, and we were playing on tennis courts that were lined. Yeah. And they were like all next to each other, no fences, no dividers. And I remember playing my very first match. Dude, it took like 40 minutes, not because of the match, but because we had to keep stopping points because balls were just flying through the court. It was so incredibly frustrating. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Terrible.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
But that really can affect the flow of the match. Or like, how many times have I been in rec play, or even, or something, and a ball rolls on the court, but it happens like when you're ahead in the point, you're ahead in the rally, you're at a clear advantage.
You're in the offensive position.
They're at the baseline or something. And then the next point, a return goes into the net or something that like just completely flips the momentum. And that's kind of what had happened in this game with Lea and Samantha, that Samantha ended up beating her in the third game, which is when this happened. I think it happened earlier in the game, in the third game, but it kind of flipped the momentum and got in Lea's head a little bit, which, obviously Lea kind of has been known to be very emotional on the court.
Lea's a swing player.
But at the same time, like I feel that, like I've found that in my game, like if there's a stoppage or something that like really swings the momentum when I was really ahead in a point, and then, not only do I not get that point, but a couple more points get rallied off in the other team's favor, that can be pickleball is a big momentum sport.
Huge,
man. So we got to figure out this, this thing.
To me, it's on the tour. It is.
What about if you put dividers up? Like, obviously balls can still come over the dividers.
I mean, that's then at least you're stopping some. At least you're stopping some. It's going to happen. I'm sure even when there's fences, sometimes that happens. But you're taking it. You're suppressing some of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, coming back to this real quick thing about the refs, though, like I feel personally, if there's a ref on the court, like the refs, like this is not just with balls on the court, but the more I watch the pro level, anytime there's an appeal to the ref, 99% of the time the ref says like, sorry, I didn't see it, or I don't have enough to overturn it. And I'm like, well, what are you there for? Like, obviously,
I
are you
know.
there just to like call foot faults and that's it?
But
Like,
here's the thing. I also feel for the refs because I'm like, they have an impossible job. They can only see so much. You know, when you're a ref and you're only standing on one side of the court, some balls are going to look into you when they're actually out
right.
because you're only on one. It's not fair. So
It's
I'm
true.
like, dude, I feel like we need pro pickleball. If we ever want it to grow and be super legitimate, we really need to figure out this whole line situation. And
Right.
there's softwares out there that can, you know, but we just need to figure it out because it's crazy how much we, you know, the pros ask the refs. Because I agree with you, they're not useless, but like, man, they can only do so much, and it's very, very little do I ever see a ref overturn something because they're confident they can. And I just feel like it's a jungle out there because people are getting away with crazy stuff.
Yeah. Especially, you know, I mean, and then you have situations where there's no ref and there's, you know, like, how do you handle that situation? There's so many different situations that require somebody to also, you know, put their foot down in certain circumstances and say like, no, the point was over, you know, or something like that. Like that's the point, or the ball did not impede play or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's a tough line.
But it's hard if a player, you know, can you imagine you're watching, the ref's not watching that ball go across the court or wherever it was.
Yeah.
The ref's watching the game. Then the ref hears her say let or whatever.
Yeah.
How is she supposed to overturn that? Oh, you didn't see that? Like, I feel for the ref.
Yeah, no, it's not an easy place to be, but I'm like, I think that it's something that it's not just without balls, but the referees in general, I'd like to see a little bit more, like, if you see something that's really clear, like, be willing to overturn it, not just stand by and be passive. And, you know, I get it. It's a hard situation.
It's such a hard situation. Like I said, I think first responsibility falls on the tour. You need to have better venues. If you don't have better venues, you got to do what you can to mitigate some of these stuff.
Yeah. But guys, let us know in the comments, whether it's at a tournament or in rec play, like, how do you deal with balls on the court, specifically the instances like where maybe the point was like over and somebody calls it. Have you guys ever run into that? Let us know in the comments, like, how common is that? And what do you think the solution would be? Like, maybe we just need more space between courts, or like
better venues, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But that's all I got today. Pretty quick episode. You got anything else to talk about?
Nope.
Okay, awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us on today's episode, and awesome. We'll see you on the next one.